Okay, reading number 299 with civil war. Civil war. Now, the whole concept is about a reenactment, a service, a memorial service. Memorial service is all about commemorating, and just showing respect, paying tribute, and to the ones we just lost, and to remember their sacrifices. So it is a memorial service in order to remember them, respect them, and show them respect. Now, reenactment is a kind of recreation of a part of a story, part of a history in the form of performance or or a play, for example. So we call it a reenactment. Now we're talking about a Civil War reenactment, which is about Civil War in America. It means recreating those concepts, those situations, those atmosphere. So we call it reenactment. Civil War reenactment is in part, it means partly a memorial service. So one aspect of it is about memorial service. It is partly to a leisure activity. Now, one aspect of it is for, again, for pleasure, for having fun, you know? So partly it is for leisure activity, partly it is memorial service. So two of them combined. Furthermore, most reenactors, those who reenact, assert an educational import. It means input, what they put inside something, to the performance, and to develop their roles. Many pursue archival research with a rare dedication. When it says rare dedication, it means they don't dedicate that much time, energy, focus on research and finding what was real. So rare dedication means it's so rare that you find someone from these reenactors to delve deeper into history, to find out more about history and what really happened. Most of them assert they put an educational import to the performance, and to develop the roles. And in order to means in order to develop their roles, many pursue archival research. They just try to find some facts or evidence in archives from past with rare dedication. They don't, it means they don't spend that much time. So what will happen? On the other hand, Civil War reenactments are increasingly commercial. At the same time, these reenactments, these performances are commercial what? Points, costs, spectacles, areas. It's about a spectacle. It means a situation that provides entertainment for people to come and visit and enjoy the events. So it's about events. So they are commercial events. Mostly they are commercial events. So they're becoming increasingly, with as many as 50,000 Americans routinely gathering at or near historical Civil War battlefields in order to stage performances that purport to recreate the conflict, while hundreds of thousands more spectate, more than as many as 50,000 people come together in order to stage that performance, in order to create that situation from Civil War, and hundreds of thousands of people are watching. Spectate, it means they watch, they see, they observe. I will show how theoretical, I will show now the reader, the writer, I will show, he's just showing you how theoretical issues of arise as practical problems in the Civil War reenactment community by presenting my own observations from 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and blah, blah, blah. So from here, I will show how theoretical issues of what? Velocity, authenticity, ability, intensity. Intensity of what? Ability of what? Theoretical issues of what? When we're talking about theory, we're talking about facts, reasons, documents, which is based on theory, which really brings you to this part. Many of them pursue, in order to develop their roles, pursue archival research with rare dedication. So they research, they go into our archives. It means we're talking about theory. How theoretical issues? It means the issues that are based on documents, theories, and what has been passed on up to now in our archives and our documents. Theoretical issues of authenticity, how genuine, how real they are. Is this action or is this act they are doing, they're performing, they're staging, is it real? Is it close to history? No. You know why? Because most of them do rare dedication. It means they spend less time in order to figure out the root, the main reasons, the originality of that. So theoretical issues of authenticity arise as practical problems. You know why? Because if you do not research that much, you want to develop your role in action, in practice, you would have some problems because you are recreating, you're doing something, you're staging a performance. So you will have problem with authenticity, with realness of these events. Community, by presenting my own observations from 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and by on a number of texts produced by participant observers. So he's telling us, he's going to show us how theoretical issues of authenticity arise, will happen as practical problems. What is his base? His base is his own observations from 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and through relying on, not building, not researching on. No, he's just telling you something based on his own observation and other people's observation. So he is relying on, he's not researching on, rely on. In particular, I will refer to Robert blah, 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 who was made famous by Tony Horwitz's 1996 book, Confederates in the Attic, and who served as a kind of Virgil to the author. Virgil is the name of a poet, I believe. It means an author, an assistant to the author on his journey throughout the Confederate Valhalla, or whatever. From these sources, you don't need to read that. From these sources that he read, I feel that living history performances require an interpretive apparatus that takes genuine history as its authority, as its commander. You know, the genuine history should rule. So I will depose, deny, argue, suggest. It's not a suggestion. When he says from these sources, it means he is using these sources as his base, as the source of information that he is using to base his ideas on. So he will argue that because he has facts, he has evidence, he has observations, he has documents. So he would argue, he wouldn't suggest anything. He says, or he will argue, living history performances require an interpretive apparatus, means some devices, some tools that creates, that should interpret the history, and they should interpret, they should figure out what the real history was, and that should rule. That should be the authority, not our observations, not our understanding, not our rare dedication for researching, while remaining external to both participants and tourists. So living history remain external. It means it's not related. So participants and tourists should be out of living history. Living history should remain external to these people. It means they shouldn't be involved. Living history should rule, not these people's observations, who may well be unaware of how closely their own involvement approximates genuine historical events. They don't know how their observations will be close to the real events or happenings. They should be excluded, tourists and participants, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how much of their involvement or observations can change the history or can get close to it. They don't know. Maybe they get close, maybe they just get far away from the real ones. So we need an interpretive apparatus, a device, a tool that really helps us to interpret what really happened in the past. That this one will lead us to genuine history, real history, And that would be our main source and origin of discussion.